So our next keynote, Matt Meeker, co-founder of BarkBox, is a good friend. This company started when I was in a co-working space called Dog Patch, and they were starting the idea. And it's an unbelievable story, success story, serial entrepreneur, but more importantly, a good friend. So come on up, Matt. And we're going to do something just for fun, because it's a visual tech event, right? So come on over here, Matt, for a second.
Okay.
Come here.
Oh, no. Oh, what are we doing?
We're doing a selfie with a hang on.
Give me the mic.
No? Ready?
No mic.
Okay. Take it away.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks. I have so many devices here. I didn't even hear what Evan said. I'm going to talk about how we invent new products at Bark & Co. It's not specifically to photo and video and the topic of the conference, but we'll touch on that a little bit. But first, there we go. So this is a picture of me from a few years ago. I've known Evan since I was this tall, right? No, really. We were looking for a photo of Evan because he's in that room somewhere back in the day helping us pack boxes for BarkBox at the very beginning. We needed Clarify to find a photo, but we didn't have time. So, but we've known each other quite a while, and he helped. We wouldn't be where we are without his help in the early days and all along. I'm supposed to point it. There we go. Just to give you a quick overview on me, I've been working in early stage startup environments for about 17 years now. I started back in the 90s with a digital ad agency here in New York called iTraffic. We were acquired in December of 99. I did a stealth startup. Stealth is if you hear people say that, it's a kind word for we don't know what we're doing and we failed. And then started meetup.com in 2002 and ran that for 7 years. I met Evan at Dog Patch Labs, where we were hosting a variety of companies who were starting new businesses, new technologies, and having a lot of fun helping them get on their feet and be successful. Probably the best known and very relevant here, we were host to Instagram before they were Instagram and during, when they were Bourbon, and then they turned into Instagram in our house. And then for the last few years with Bark & Co. I got it. There we go. So here are a few of the products that when you think of us, I think most people who know us would hear of BarkBox and know what that is. We're a company that builds a lot of stuff all the time. And so in addition to BarkBox, we have all these other properties that are out in the world, in addition to several that aren't listed here. The box is a subscription retail commerce business, but something interesting, for example, is we have, and to give you an idea into how we think about invention and innovation, we have this thing in the lower left corner called BarkPack. BarkPack started as us reaching out to influencers who are dogs on Instagram and saying, we'd love to work with you somehow, and those people pointing customers to our other businesses. And it has sort of mushroomed in many, many different directions where we follow what's working and what the audience or that core group wants. It is now in some ways acting as a talent agency for some of the most popular dogs of Instagram, YouTube, other platforms out there. And so we you start with a very small kernel of an idea and it grew from there. Yes. And that brings up the dog here. Because this is often how, in our experience, that invention or innovation goes, where you set off on a journey, you're going somewhere, you have a vague idea of where you're going, and then you get there and you discover it's something completely different than what you had in mind. Sometimes better, sometimes you're in outer space on the moon, sometimes disappointing, it's not made of cheese. But it often goes that way, and one of the joys is you have to be just willing to accept that. And so I was going to talk through just 3 things that when we think about how we do innovation, that's very important to the products that we invent and how we go about it. The first is that it's certainly important for me and important for our company that we have a tremendous amount of passion about the things that we work on, that it needs to be deeply personal. I believe that great product people, great inventors have a tremendous amount of empathy, and it helps a lot because pretty soon everyone around you is going to care a lot about that. If you don't, it will become very annoying to you very fast. This is what I'm passionate about. This is my dog, Hugo. And so he makes me very happy, and I live the company through him. I want to make him happy and create products and services and new things for him all the time. So that's what keeps me going, keeps the passion going. And yeah, that's my guy. And then we have a team now of over 90 dog lovers. This is some of them with their dogs. But we generally only hire someone who really, really, really loves their dog and has that passion and understands that customer or core user. So that's a very important part of great invention, great innovation all the time. The second is we do a lot of stuff. Most of it doesn't work. Most of it the world doesn't see. But it's very important where we use those creative muscles every single day. And oftentimes, similar to the dog going to the moon, it doesn't turn out the way you thought, but it uncovers something very new. Just the process of being creative and coming up with new ideas and coming up with new products every day, it gets you into that mode of habit and also of thinking in creative ways that will lead to new and important discoveries. So in addition to having a lot of passion and empathy for the customer, you've got to do it all the time. It's not something you can turn off and turn on with a lot of ease. And giving you an example of some of those, we have created everything from the core products that we talked about, BarkBox. We have a content property called BarkPost that serves over 10 million unique visitors every month. We have a Tinder for dogs that's called BarkBuddy. We opened a retail store for a weekend where we sold rescue dogs to people in Soho. We have dog-shaped paper clips and probably another 100 or so things that are at some various point of either being out there in the world or in development. So again, we're exercising that creative muscle all the time. I thought I got it. Nope. This is a recent example. So everything you do doesn't have to be a huge thing in that invention. This is actually a Chrome extension called BarkBuddy. So every time you open a new tab in Chrome, it shows you a rescue dog near you that's available for adoption. It's small, but it goes to our passion, and it's just a fun thing. And then finally, to come up with anything original, you've got to be prepared to be wrong, because you will be a lot. The key is just be wrong very quickly. Be ready to accept that, move on, get on to the next thing, and learn from it. But you have to be prepared to be wrong a whole lot. And so this is a illustration. When we were getting started back when Evan was helping us, the initial idea for BarkBox was just that, was an idea. It lived in my head, and I would walk around Dog Patch Labs, and I'd go to Evan and his friends, actually to Evan, and tell him the idea, and he said, "Wow, that sounds great." And I got tired of hearing, "Wow, that sounds great." Here's something that's absolutely true. Your family and friends will lie to you. If you say, "What do you think of this idea?" they will say, "It sounds great. It's amazing." They will lie to you to make you feel good. So Evan probably lied to me, and that wasn't nice. But I had an answer, and I pulled out a square, and I plugged it into my phone. I said, "That's great. Then you can buy one." And that's when the truth comes out. When you put it to someone right then of swipe your card, tell me if you really like it or if you're just saying that. At that point, all of his objections came out. Well, I don't even have a dog. I thought it just sounded like a great idea. But he was one of our first customers. He bought 2 boxes for friends who had dogs. So you really have to figure out that you're on the right track or not in a real way very quickly. And so those are our 3 concepts that we follow. We explore that personal passion. We invent a lot of stuff and use the creative muscles very often. And we're always prepared to be wrong, and we very frequently are wrong. Do I have more? Oh, that's it. So that's me. That's how you get in touch with me if you'd like. And I'm over time, so 10 seconds over. Thank you.